As you know, for this entire week, we will be putting the spotlight on different Guyanese women across the country who are serving in different capacities. And today we traveled all the way to Timeri at the Chedi Jagan International Airport to put the spotlight on Mrs. Ishwari Glasglow, who is serving as the Director of Finance and Administration at the airport. Hello, Ms. Ishwari.
Hi.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me for a bit. And we will be putting the spotlight on you today because, as you know, this week is the week of International Women's Day. So we're
Yes.
celebrating women all week. So
Yes.
how has it been being in a leadership position at the major airport in Guyana?
Okay. First of all, it's been an enjoyable journey. I have been with the Airport Corporation for the past 17 years. I must say it hasn't been without its challenges. Aviation is a male-dominated world, and globally, less than 3% of women hold positions within aviation. But we have been seeing women are making strides. We are pushing, we're shattering those glass ceilings. And we have women in a lot of male dominated positions, like we have female civil engineers, the airport expansion project manager, she's female. We have chief architects on our team, and those positions speak about the progress that women are making, not only in aviation, but globally. As an organization, 55% of our workforce is female. And CGI is an equal opportunities provider, and we like to encourage and promote and support our women. So for this week, coincidentally, the week is also marked from the 7th to the 11th of March. It's put aside to honor women in aviation, and
Right.
International Women's Day is the 8th of March. And so during that week, what we'll be doing is to focus, to celebrate some of our women and the contributions that they have made in the organization. For me personally, I joined the organization, as I mentioned, over 17 years ago, just fresh out of high school. And one of the reasons why I'm still with the organization is because I have been given the opportunity to grow. I've been supported with the various managers and leaders that I've worked with. I've been supported. My boss, the CEO, very supportive, always encourages us to study and to push harder. And I have never been made to feel that, my contributions are insignificant.
Right.
I am motivated and inspired every day when I come to the table and I say, this is what I think about something, that it's taken on board. I feel as if my opinion matters, and my contributions, it's making a difference. And so I've interacted with board members, I've interacted with ministers of the government, and not once did I ever feel disrespected or did I ever feel less of a person. And so that's one of the main reasons why I'm still here, because I want to make a positive impact on the organization. I want women to know that, hey, we can do this thing. It's challenging, yes, because apart from being a professional, I am a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and those are many roles to juggle. And you interact with our females employee, and a lot of times you hear the struggles that it is difficult, it is challenging to hold an 8-hour plus job. The airport is a demanding environment. And with all that is going on, with all of the various projects and so forth that we have running, it is still possible. Recently, a few years ago, I completed my first master's in business administration. And at the moment, I'm doing my second master's in aviation management. And so I would encourage my female staff, because a lot of my staff are female, and I would encourage them that, hey, this thing is possible. I'm doing it, and so you can do it too. And that's the message we want to get out there to our staff. It is not impossible. 17 years ago, when I came to this organization, if someone had told me that, hey, you will be in this leadership position, I probably would not have believed. I probably would have shrugged it off. I would have laughed. And sometimes it seems unreal to me too. So I would like to, on a personal note, to commend all of our female employees. Kudos to you. We can do this thing. Change is possible. Women are going places. Gone are the days when you see male engineers alone, or you see male pilots, or you see male architects. Gone are those days. Almost every field we have women, we have a voice, we have a representation, and so it is very possible. So I want to encourage all of our female staff to continue to push, to continue to speak up, to make a difference, to let your voice be heard, and continue to fight for what we believe in. And I know that together we can make a difference. Together we can break those glass ceilings. Together we can break the bias, we can break stereotypes, we can break all the labels. So, women, let us press forward.
All right. I'm happy to hear that over 55% of the staff here at CJIA are women.
Yes.
That's very commendable about the organization. I was saying I'm happy to hear about CJIA. And I also heard you mention that you've been here for 17 years.
Yes.
And if persons would have told you that you would have been in a leadership role a day like today, you would not have believed it. So what was your life like before being in this position, and what was that turning point for you that led you to take up a role like this?
Okay, well, I grew up in a traditional Indian home, and so I came out of a simple background. My parents are simple people. Both my parents, they're entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. We have a family business, and so growing up, I am always this type of person that I push. I love a good challenge. I set my goals, and it is something I think I will continue doing, as the year begins. I would say, this is what I want to complete for this year. And so from the very early stages, I attended the Tamari Primary School. And from there, when I wrote Common Entrance, as we call it in those days, I would have gotten a place at the Covent Garden Secondary School. So I went through the traditional government school system, and I was able to appreciate the values and the various challenges facing the public school system. And from Covent Garden, I was able to have a strong molding from the various teachers who would have taught me there. And after graduating from Covent Garden, I went straight into studies. I started doing the CAT ACCA program, and maybe within a year or two, I applied. I remember I brought my application in person here, and at the time the airport didn't have a vacant position, and so about 6 months later I was called, and they said, we have this temporary position if you're interested. And of course, I was home, I was studying, and I accepted that position, and that was in the finance department. So I came on as a temporary staff. And throughout that period, I would have continued my studies, I would have learned more on the job, I would have been exposed to different experiences and different challenges, and I continued to push because I knew to myself that I wanted to be somebody. My parents did not have that opportunity to complete their secondary education or to go on to tertiary, and I felt that because I'm the eldest of my siblings, and I felt that I need to set that trend for my family and to encourage my siblings to do better. And so I continued with my studies. In the early stages, I got married, and I had a child, but that didn't stop me. I took a short break, a few years, and I continued, and so I would have completed my CAT studies. I moved on to ACCA, and I continued to work, and because of various openings within the department, I quickly moved up the rank to supervisor, and then I became the accountant, and I later went on to do my master's in business administration, and then there was another opening, and that's how I reached to the position of director of finance and administration. So to anyone, I would say that it is not impossible. The fact that I did it, anybody can do it. You don't have to come out of this big fancy background. You don't have to have all of these it was challenging because I remember going back to the early days. I would tell my son is 14 now, and I would tell him, when I was going to school, I had to handwrite all of my SBAs. These days, the kids, they know about internet, but I remember the days when we had to line up at the National Library on Saturday mornings to get our research. And I remember the days when, you have blackout and you have to study with a lamp. And those are things that I have experienced, and it makes me appreciate the things that I have now. It makes me appreciate where I came from, and I think it helps me to remain humble.
Nice. And why would you say it's important for women to be in leadership positions like these and others? And what can you say to any young girl who is watching to take up space and be a leader in whatever capacity they want to serve?
Okay. It is important for women to be in leadership position because I believe we as women, we have a unique type of strength, I should say. You know the song, Strength of a Woman? I think women have a unique strength because being a mom, being a leader, being a wife, being a sister, a daughter, and all of these various roles that many times we make it seem that it's so easy, but oftentimes it is not. Like I can tell you right now, I'm doing my second master's and I function on 6 hours of sleep. I do night classes, I go to bed, I wake up and I cook and I come to work and I do it all. And that cycle continues. So I know we have a lot of single women, we have a lot of single parents, we have a lot of women who face various challenges, whether it's because of the location that they live. Some of them, they don't have the support system, and those are very important that we have the right type of support. And I've been fortunate to have that both in my work environment and in my personal life, in my family. But women need to be at the table. We deserve to be in the boardrooms where decisions are being made because we have a different perspective. I believe that we bring a different mix. Our opinions are different, and we have a different skill set altogether because as a woman, we manage it. We manage the home, we manage the office, we manage the husband and the kids. And so I believe that same discipline, that same resilience, that same, that motivating factor, we bring that to the workplace, and that is what we can use to make a difference.
Nice. And I'm happy that you mentioned the word resilience because we're actually calling these videos the Resilient Woman. So, and the question that I'm asking everyone is, on days when you're feeling down and not motivated, what is that driving force? What is that one thing that keeps you going?
For me, I'm a Christian, and so my strength has always been in spending time with the Lord. And yes, I do have those challenging days. There are days in which it makes you feel like, as some would say, you want to pull out the hair. There are those days. And so many times when I have those days, what I do, I probably put on a song that would uplift me. Or I have on my desk, I have little scriptures and I might read one of that. Or I have a picture of my mom on my desk and I would look at it. I have a picture of my husband and my son. And those are the things that I draw motivation from. But for me, being a Christian and being grounded in those values, that helps me a lot.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching, guys. Join me again in the next video as I go and put the spotlight on another resilient Guyanese woman.
Did you know that a water meter helps you to save money? Metered GWI customers are billed based on the amount of water consumed. This allows you to manage your consumption to avoid a higher reading. Get to know your water service meter and save big on your next water bill. Support GWI's metering movement. Remember, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. A message from Guyana Water Incorporated.
Take care of business the supreme way.